The first cold morning of autumn arrived without warning. One day, the mountain was green and golden. The next, it wore a thin gray coat of cloud. The air coming through the window smelled different, like pine needles and something distant, like a memory. Hannah noticed it first. She was 7 years old, with her father's eyes and her grandmother's stubbornness. She pressed her palm flat against the glass and felt the cold on the other side. "It's different today," she said. In the kitchen, her mother was already awake. Mother's name was Saya. She had been awake since before the light. She knew when rain was coming or when the soup needed one more minute. She moved through the kitchen in the gray pre-dawn, pulling things from shelves with practiced ease. A heavy pot, the good wooden spoon, the one with the crack in the handle that fit her hand perfectly. Onions from the basket, carrots still carrying a little earth. The last of the summer mushrooms, dried and saved. Every year, the first cold day meant the same thing in this house. Soup, the slow kind that took all morning and filled every room with warmth before the warmth was needed outside. It was something her own mother had done, and her mother before that. Hannah padded into the kitchen in her socks, hair still tangled from sleep, and climbed onto the wooden stool. This was her place. It had always been her place. She watched her mother's hands move, peeling, chopping, the quiet rhythm of it with ordinary care. "Can I do something?" Hannah asked. Her mother handed her a carrot and a small knife with a blunt edge. They worked in silence. The only sounds were the knife on the board and the scratch of a match. The low breath of the flame catching under the pot, and outside, the wind moving through the pines. Father came downstairs when the smell reached the bedroom. He stood in the doorway in his old gray sweater. He looked at his wife and his daughter side by side, and something in his face went quiet and full. He put the kettle on. The three of them moved around each other like a slow and quiet dance. The soup took 2 hours. Hannah did her drawing at the kitchen table while it cooked. She came back every few minutes to stir, which her mother allowed even though it wasn't strictly necessary. Father read his book by the window, pausing sometimes to watch the mist move across the mountain face. When the soup was ready, they ate together at the wooden table by the window, the bowls warm in their hands. Nobody rushed. Nobody checked the time. The soup tasted of the beginning of the cold months, when this small house became the whole world. Later, when Hannah was grown and living far from the mountain, she would try many times to make that soup herself. She could never quite get it right. It wasn't because the recipe was complicated. It was just vegetables and water and time. But she understood that what she was really trying to recreate was not a taste. It was a morning, a kitchen, 2 people moving quietly around each other while the mist came down the mountain and the first cold pressed against the glass. She understood that some things cannot be cooked alone. Some things need everyone at the table.